Hey everyone, Duke here, and today we're going to go over the third King's Fall challenge, Gaze Amaze. This challenge is for the Golgoroth encounter and requires your gaze holder to be in the pool of reclaimed light every time the gaze is passed. To start, let's talk about loadouts and setup. On Master, the only change in this encounter will be the 2 barrier knights that spawn near the end of the ad clear phase, so Arbalest is going to be a great option for everyone to use. And not only that, but it can also one-shot the back for taking the gaze as well. IZANAGI'S Burden is another option to do both of those things, and for this season can also be your barrier option with anti-barrier sniper. Subclass-wise, there's a number of good options. Bowl of Radiance and Bubble Titan are both great for the 25% damage buff, as well as extra survivability when doing DPS. Gathering Storm and Shadow Shot are both options for hunters, and with Shadow Shot, I'd recommend Deadfall, aka the single tether, because the multi-tether can make it harder to hit shots, and you will want to use Shadow Shot more as a combination ad clear and debuff more than anything. For the gaze holders, Void Resist is helpful in order to take a bit less damage from the balls if they do hit you, and running a solar subclass with healing grenades can be helpful for added safety as well. As for full weapon loadouts, I personally like Arbalest, Callous Minitool, and Typin. This is the only boss encounter I'd recommend not running Divinity on, as since you will only have 3 other people doing DPS if you include a Divinity, you will technically actually be doing less damage than if all 4 people use linear fusion rifles. For the Gaze team, if you're super confident, you can have one of them run Tractor Cannon to apply that 30% debuff, but it's not necessary and definitely a bit risky. My recommendation is either Arbalest, IZANAGI'S, or another sniper to easily take the gaze, and a machine gun to easily take down the homing taken darts once you have the gaze. Going back to the DPS team for a second, I prefer running Typin with Firing Line here over my Cataclysmic with Bait and Switch, just due to that instant 20% damage buff from Firing Line versus the time it takes to get Bait and Switch to proc, and how much of the uptime of it can be lost due to moving from pool to pool. Finally, having someone run or just swap to Aeons can be useful here as well, as the Yellow Bar Wizard can be finishered for heavy, as well as the 2 barrier knights on the Master version. 3 general tips for holding the gaze. First, make sure to never go invisible while holding the gaze, as this will take the gaze away from you and immediately end the phase. Second, make sure to not use Xenophage to try to take the gaze or shoot the darts, as it does not work for either part. Just any random legendary machine gun will do, with autoloading being a useful perk so that it can reload for you in between swaps. And third, helping to take down the next pool and slaying out the ads near the far side of the room when you're not the gaze holder is extremely helpful towards the flow and completion of this encounter. This will both give the DPS team more time to DPS, as the pool will drop faster, as well as keep them from having to focus any of their time on staying alive from any ads that may be alive, especially the phalanxes. As for the challenge, you'll run things pretty much as normal. Make sure to count down your gaze timer the whole way, and by 5 seconds, quickly make your way to the current pool of reclaimed light. Once you're in, tell the other gaze holder to grab the gaze, something quick like grab or take works best just so it's an easy callout, and repeat this same process for every pool. Do note that it is possible for the gaze holder to get the unstable light depending on the timing, so just make sure to pay attention on the off chance that this happens. Also know that the only way to fail this challenge is specifically if the gaze is passed without the current gaze holder being in a pool of reclaimed light. So if the gaze holder either dies or the gaze does not successfully get passed, this is okay and will not fail the challenge. Do keep in mind though that the tablet of rune that lights up for each unused pool, so a total of 6 unused pools will still cause a wipe. Using this to our advantage, it may be worth doing a 5 orb strat, where you don't use the last pool because Golgoroth will try to stomp if the gaze holder is close to him, and the 5th pool will usually drop extremely close to where he is. We had a few fails happen where he would stomp as the gaze holder got to that 5th pool, pushing them back right as we took the gaze, causing the challenge to fail as they weren't actually in the pool once the gaze got taken. Using this strategy will only lose 1 pool's worth of damage, in which most of your team will already be out of heavy anyway, and only lights up 1 rune on the tablet of rune, so I believe this will be a go-to strategy for consistency purposes. Repeat this process of making sure the gaze is always swapped with the current gaze holder in the pool until Golgoroth is defeated. If you need a team to run with, I'll be doing helps on all of the challenges throughout the season on my stream at twitch.tv/DukeIsCool, so come on by. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.